How do you stop people from taking advantage of you? And how do you stand up for yourself when that doesn't feel right? The answer is you set boundaries. And today, I'm going to be talking again, part 2 of setting boundaries. Good morning. I'm Coach Ted. Welcome to Coffee with Coach Ted, my excuse me, twice weekly Facebook Live. And it's Friday morning. The top of my head in the frame here. So it's Friday morning, and we're going to talk some more about setting boundaries. So, for those of us with ADHD, setting boundaries can be a struggle. Whether it's setting boundaries for our own boundaries or respecting other people's boundaries. Boundaries are rules you set for yourself based on your values and priorities. Some you have to think about and set, some you set automatically. If you're someplace out in the world and somebody you don't know comes up and stands too close to you, you feel that right away and you step back, and because you realize that that boundary has been crossed. So that's it. That's kind of an easy thing. You instinctively do that. But setting boundaries generally is not easy. It means changing our behavior. It means, talking to people about things that are not comfortable. But there are real advantages, I'll talk about that in a minute, to setting boundaries. So what are the different areas you want to set boundaries in? Well, there's several. There's physical space, there's mental, emotional, time boundaries, physical body boundaries, sexual boundaries, material boundaries, boundaries around the things that you have. So how do you know when a boundary is being crossed? I gave the example of somebody who just stands too close to you. You just kind of have an immediate sense that, whoa, that's too close. So some of the ways that, are those kind of emotional responses, physical responses. These are all signs that a boundary has been crossed. Let's say, for example, that you have a friend who asks to borrow your car, but you don't feel comfortable lending it, but you don't feel comfortable saying no, so you say yes. So notice what happens. Maybe the voice in your head starts shouting at you. I hate when they ask me for things. Like, why do they always ask me? That's a clue, whatever that voice inside your head is saying in response to something you've agreed to. Physical sensations, tension in the pit of your stomach, a sinking feeling, a sense of dread. You might notice that when you agree to something you don't want to. Emotions. Notice emotions are also signs. You might feel angry or taken advantage of. What your behavior is. You've agreed to lend your friend the car, but you drag your feet. You misplace your keys. You procrastinate about, meeting them to give them the keys. Or you arrive late. So these are all signs that a material boundary has been crossed. In this little example, friend asks to borrow your car. You don't want to, but you say yes anyway. On the other hand, you may feel good about it. It's like, sure, I've got this car, you don't. I'm happy to lend you my car. Just be careful. And you just hand over the keys. So being asked for something, and saying yes is not necessarily crossing a boundary. It depends on what your boundaries are. In this example, it's talking about somebody asks you to borrow your car, you don't really want to, but you agree to it. So there are other things in your life that you agree to that you don't want to. It's like, what are the reactions you have when you do that? So there are some real benefits of having clear, strong boundaries. You feel happier because you're paying attention to what's important to you and to your, to your values, to your inner, moral compass. You have better relationships at work and home because you're not feeling resentful of somebody, of agreeing to something you really don't want to agree to. You're not allowing people to cross your boundaries, so it makes you feel good, and that also improves your relationships. You have increased energy because you're not tying up energy in all this feelings and emotions and things around agreeing to things you don't want to do. Which depletes your energy. When you're people pleasing, that sucks your energy. When you're paying attention to your boundaries and setting boundaries, that frees up that energy and you feel better. Your self-confidence goes up. And you trust yourself to look after yourself. You're more productive because you're setting time boundaries with people. You're not letting them suck out your time. And you have greater self-respect because you are taking care of yourself in this way, which is really important. It can be scary to say no when it's new to you. You have to just keep doing it. So I go through a few things that, in terms of how do you set boundaries, or what do you need to do to set boundaries? What are the different steps? So one is you need a mental shift. You need to make it okay for yourself to have boundaries, because a lot of us, it's not okay. And that's why we don't do it, because we feel it's not okay to do that. So there's a mental shift, a shift in your thinking, saying, yes, it is okay to have boundaries. There's probably no more important thing than that in terms of you being able to set boundaries. Learning it's okay. Thanks for the like. You have to define what your boundaries are. You're looking at different areas of your life and where places where people have crossed boundaries, or and how you want, what are the boundaries you want to set. Write up a list of things that people do that you don't like and that you want to set boundaries for. It's like, take some time. Physical space, emotional space, define what it is for you. Communicate. Once you set your boundaries, you're going to need to communicate with people. If it's somebody that you interact with regularly and who regularly crosses boundaries, you need to talk to that person. That's not going to be comfortable. They may not like it. They may be defensive. Obviously, you want to be as clear as you can be, and make it a conversation that hopefully that they can say things in a way they can hear. As I said on Monday, it's like, say what you mean what you say, don't be mean about it. So communicate, explain to people these new boundaries. Accept that the conversation is not going to be comfortable. When you're a people pleaser, it's hard to say no. Some people may be fine with it. Some people may not be. Some people may walk away because they don't like it. That's okay. Those are kind of people you don't want to have in your life. And by having clear boundaries, you also have the potential of attracting people into your life who really will support you in doing the things you need to do for yourself. You're going to need to reinforce your boundaries with yourself and with others. Keep reminding yourself what your boundaries are, because it's easy to forget, right? Particularly when we're learning new behaviors, it's easy to forget about them and revert to our old behaviors. And you have to reinforce with other people too, who are around you, remind them of what your boundaries are, because people are not necessarily going to remember from that first conversation when you told them about what your new boundaries are. So, and have a plan for when somebody crosses the boundary and what you're going to do about that. Reward people, acknowledge when people do respect your boundaries, and really thank them for it. That's rewarding and reinforcing their behavior. Be patient. Changing this kind of change in behavior is major. It doesn't happen overnight. So be patient with yourself and be patient with the people around you. Again, going back, you're going to have to just keep reinforcing with yourself and with others. Be patient. Change takes time. And finally, is believe in yourself. Believe that you deserve to have the space you deserve to be able to say no. Trust your instincts for what you do and don't want in your life. Don't allow others to define you. You have to define what's right for you and stand up for those and stand up for yourself. That's it for today about setting boundaries. How you do it, some of the benefits of having boundaries. Thanks for being here today. Let me mention that if you're not a member of my Facebook group, Live Fully with ADHD, please come and check us out. It's really people getting more and more involved. I've got about 225 people now in the group, and it's all about support, and my supporting you, and you getting support to and from other people in the group. So I'll post a link to the group in a comment. I'm finished here. Check us out. If you have any comments or questions about my discussion today, please put them in a comment. Love to hear from you, what you're thinking. If you have ideas of topics you'd like for me to talk about in the future, please put those in a comment. If you'd like to connect with me outside of, directly one-on-one, type #connect in a comment, and I'll be in touch with you, and we'll set up a time to chat. And finally, if you're watching this as replay, please type in #replay so I know you were here, and leave a comment of what you think about what I was talking about today. So, wow, it's 9:45. Time to wrap things up. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Next Coffee with Coach Ted will be 9:30 a.m. on Monday. That's Eastern Time. Goodbye from great city of Boston, Massachusetts. Coffee with Coach Ted. Have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend. See you Monday.